know what time it is. If you see this face, it ain't no time to waste. Yeah, sure. Back in with another episode of the We Here Now podcast, episode number 40. I'm your host, as y'all know, MarioTheCameraMan, Sosa, Rio, whatever you like to call me, as long as you like, comment, and subscribe. And whoo, it feels good to be back. I know it's only been a week since I last had a conversation with y'all, but thank y'all for tuning back in. We got a good one. Obviously, there's been a lot of stuff going on, so you guys know what I'm talking about. We're going to get to that on the other side, but rest assured we're going to get to that. But other than that, I got some other stuff I got going on as well. So it's going to be a fun episode. And before we even get started, let me take a little swiggity on my drink. Oh, yeah. That's delicious. And if you thought I was going to say it was delicious, you might be new here. It's kind of like my thing. Whenever you open up a drink, check that first swig. It's always going to be the best sip of your life. Not the last one, not in the middle, not when you got enough. That first sip is always going to be the best sip. But I'm going to stop solid and we're going to get right into it. So, y'all know how I like to crack this thing off. Usually how I start the thing off is I do a little weekend recap. Let y'all know what I've been doing in the week since I've last seen you guys. And then we'll get to the main topic stuff. Now, as far as this week, really not too much stuff as far as like work that I necessarily wanted to talk about. But all in all, it's been a good week. I'm definitely, just as tired as I've been. But I actually had a nice little break for the first time since like December. But I had a dentist appointment on Friday, so I didn't work my other job that I usually work on Friday or Saturday. Just had the one job. So I had me a nice little break, and then I had Sunday off, which was definitely needed. But cause like I said, I'm so used to just being in a routine now. Like I don't even think about it. I'm just going, and like I'm just so used to always being tired that I actually got a break this weekend. And man, I definitely missed it for sure. But we back at it. Nothing too crazy as far as the work week goes. You guys know I work with the kids, transporting them from point A to point B. But man, those kids always got me laughing. I got some kids I gotta take to counseling. I'm recording this on a Tuesday. But yeah, I got kids I gotta take to counseling on Tuesday. But you would think you hear counseling like, oh, these kids are like maybe a little rough around the edges. Man, these kids is funny as hell. Like they are honestly like good kids. You know what I mean? It's just their parents trying to get this stuff under control. So maybe in the future it doesn't become like really a big problem. So I was talking to the kids, on the way back, and the one kid, he's he'll help around the house, watch out for his little brother and stuff like that, and he ended up getting paid for cutting the grass. So he's trying to figure out a little plan to get him a PlayStation or whatever. But it's just funny because man, I miss being a kid and being naive to the world and stuff like that, because we passed the one job that his dad used to work as, like a factory job, and that's what he wants to do. You know what I mean? He doesn't know necessarily like all the intricate details about working in the factory. I mean, it's good hours, but it's gonna be tough work, but it's gonna be good pay. So he kind of has an idea, but we got in the conversation about him having like a real job and stuff like that. Keep in mind, this kid's like, I don't know, he's like 9 or 10. Like, he's super young. He actually reminds me a lot of myself. He's very small for his grade, and he's super energetic, you know what I mean? But, like, he's not like a disobedient kid. Like, if he gets to acting out a little bit, he wants to move around the van, I'll turn around and tell him, like, yo, like, put your seatbelt on. I'm sorry, he put his seatbelt on. So he's really good at listening, but he just got, like, a lot of energy. You got to figure out what to do with, But like, I don't never, like, when it comes to kids like that, I feel like now they always try to, like, for the younger kids that got like a lot of energy, they just try to like, oh, he needs like medication like Ritalin or something. But like that don't always be the case, you know what I mean? Because like I said, I used to be like that when I was young, like super energetic. But like I grew up and like I'm a lot more calm, Like they just kids. You can't forget that they kids at the end of the day. You be like, man, why they so, why they talk so much and talk about a bunch of nuts? Like they kids, they gonna go through that phase. It's gonna phase out, and they're gonna grow into the person they're supposed to be. Not to get on a tangent, but talking about the job. So, he has a little job doing cutting the grass, stuff like that, trying to get the PlayStation. And he was telling me about, working at the factory. And he's kind of trying to figure out how much money he would actually make. So, like, they're asking me, like, the job I do. I'm not giving them exact numbers. I'm going, like, kind of way lowballing. You know, I was telling them like I make $13 an hour. It's not true, but for the sake of this conversation, it really doesn't matter how much I make to these kids. You know, you're just trying to get an understanding of, you know, what his future's gonna look like when he has a job and stuff like that. But also, like I said, being naive, not realizing when you have a job, it's like, okay, you make, I'm telling them, okay, $13 an hour. It's like 10 hours a day. They trying to do the math. So, oh yeah, it's like about a little over $100 a day. And I had to break the news to them, like, we all found out when we started working the job. Them taxes is a mud, boy. I'll tell you, like what you think you gonna get and what you actually get are two completely different numbers, and that's something you're gonna have to actually go through. So I was kind of like trying to break it down, like, even me, like, I don't know the percentage because it's different for everybody, depending on, you know, what city you work in, the state you work in, what exactly your job or independent contractor. It's a whole bunch of things that tie to. But I was just trying to give him like a little bit of game because I mean he's thirsty for the knowledge, you know what I mean? So if I have the knowledge, I'll give it to him. So I was just kind of, you know, breaking it down to him. But definitely like working with the kids like that, you know. It's not a job I'm gonna get rich off as far as money, but as far as like value and how it makes me feel, I think I'm definitely gonna be rich off it. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, like, I remember hearing that when I was young. It's like find a job. It's like find a job that you love, and pretty much just like stick with it. You know, you can't like be too concerned about like all the little flaws, like all the like kind of things that aren't so organized that happens in a job place. But you got to find that job that truly brings some value. And I mean, just by me being able to talk to these kids, I don't know, I definitely get value out of it, and they definitely keep me young because they, like I said, just the conversation. It made me think about like when I was young, at their age, like having these conversations, just realizing like how unaware I was of the world, and that's how it should be. I'm not judging them for that. They haven't lived enough life. Now I can't just I'm not gonna throw that over their head like, oh well, you haven't lived enough life, you don't know. You gotta let them gradually go through that situation, and then they're gonna figure it out. So when they get older, they're gonna remember about talking to myself when they was a kid, and realize how crazy it kind of sounds because they didn't have the actual life experience. That makes sense? Y'all following me? All right, for sure, for sure. They definitely keep me young though. But like, oh yeah, I talked about it a little bit. I had a dentist appointment on Friday. That's how I had those off days. Definitely nice to have those off days. I was in a little bit of pain, but not nearly as bad as the first time I went. So yeah, all good. But even with that being said, I still was in a little bit of minor pain as far as like clenching my teeth and stuff like that. So I didn't go to my football game. I don't have any updates for y'all as far as the football side goes. So technically that breaks my streak of having an interception every week. But I didn't play. So I mean I don't really count it as like, you know, the streak is really broke. I just couldn't. I was inactive. I couldn't play. You know what I mean? But we'll be back at it again next week, and I'll have an update. I don't know if y'all be caring about the updates, but like I said, like it's talking about stuff that's going on in my life that pertains to me that draws some type of interest to Mual. So that's what I'm gonna do. And most of y'all that know me already before the podcast, not through the podcast, I mean, you guys know that I was an athlete and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm like, that's me. Like I'm gonna give y'all 100% authentic, the real me every single time. And that's why I hope y'all rock with me. Hopefully I can give y'all some game or just a little bit of understanding about certain things. But one thing about the football thing, especially around this time, obviously it's May now, but perfect time because the weather is starting to break. And with the weather breaking, you know, you got to get your essentials ready for the summertime. And one of those things, for sure, you gotta get your summer clothes. So I've been spending a lot of time. I don't want to say spending a lot of time because I'm not really an online shopper, but you know, I dibble and dabble, you know. The problem is with online shopping, once you start shopping just a little bit, you realize how addictive it actually is. So I can understand, you know, just people having minor addiction when it comes to online shopping because it's so convenient. You order it, all right, cool. You picked out the sizes, what you want, and then boom, order, and then now you're just waiting for the stuff to come. You know, a little bit better than actually going to the store. The only thing you lose out on is the fact that you can't actually try on the clothes. So you got to use like the metric that they have, the size chart, your height, your weight, stuff like that to kind of guess where it's at. But it's kind of messed me up when I was online shopping because like I bought this shirt and it was talking about like, oh, like the bust is like 42. I'm like, man, I'm busty as hell, boy. I didn't even know what busty meant. Like me, I'm thinking like when you hear busty, what do you think? Don't say it out loud. You know exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that. So I'm like, why they got the bust for men's clothing? So like anybody else would do, well, everybody does in this generation now. We Google things, and that's exactly what I did. Come to find out, the bust ain't where I thought it was. The bust is actually right under here. All right, that's besides the point. I just want to give y'all a little story time about that with the online shopping. So probably for the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna have a lot of stuff coming in. I mentioned last week about the shorts I got, from my boy Will Bino down in Orlando. Hopefully, I went to subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's been dropping vlogs, and he's been going crazy. I think I kind of started just like a little bit before him, but it's also cool to have someone that's kind of in the same kind of field, because if you don't do like YouTube or you don't make content, you kind of don't know what goes into it. And that's why when people see that I do the podcast, it's a lot of people, they want to come on the podcast or they want to do the podcast. And I empower everybody. If you actually want to do a podcast, any type of content creating, go for it. The best solution I can get you, just do it yourself. If you think you're going to be in a situation where like, I'll just have, for example, you see me doing a podcast, I'll just ask him to do the podcast, and then he can shoot, and then he can edit. But you got to realize I got my own podcast as well. There's a lot of things that goes on to putting these out every single week. You see what I'm saying? So it's really not as easy as people may think it is, but they see people doing it, so it's like, oh, that's something I want to do. And if it's something that you really want to do, like, you're going to figure it out. Because even before I started doing the podcast like this, made my own YouTube channel, everything like that, I had a podcast I was doing on the Anchor app. I had like 2 episodes, but it was no visual. That's just how dedicated I was to doing the podcast. It was strictly just audio, and yeah, it was horrible. I'll just be completely honest, it was horrible. But imagine if I would have went through the process of that and got all this equipment and stuff like that, realized I had bad episodes, and just stopped right there, bought all this money for nothing. So, I mean, that's just kind of showing you like the steps that I took before I even got, what people see as like the camera, the microphones, the laptop and stuff like that. Just start doing it. You know what I mean? And this for anybody listening to this podcast right now that may see me doing a podcast, you want to do a podcast, you need some help on doing a podcast, the best advice I can give you is to just do it. Nope. Well, I'll be knocking down. I actually ain't got no knock on right now with my flip flop, but y'all get what I'm saying. Just get it done. That's really the best advice I can give you. I can't give you any other advice, and I don't have time to walk you through the process or do the podcast for you. So if you're really dedicated to it, and that's something you want to do as far as, whether it's podcast, content creating or something like that, even if you want to start doing vlog, just do it on your phone. I did a vlog, and I did half on my camera, and then the clips that I didn't use with my actual camera that I'm recording on now, I just use on my phone. It's 2024. Like, all these iPhones can do all that stuff. Like, you see, like, music videos on YouTube, they got millions and millions of views, and they're shot off their iPhone. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if you really got the drive to want to do something, like, you not going to need all the hoopla and all the extra stuff. Everything that you need to get started, you already have. Unless you're someone out there with the Android phone, you're going to have to figure it out on your own. If you got an Android phone, you're trying to start a podcast, do any type of content creation, I could not steer you in the right direction, even if you paid me. Okay? So, do what you want with that information. And, yeah, all good. But, like I said, the weather is starting to break. I definitely do drive a lot. And with that being said, I always be seeing, like, those watch out for motorcyclists, like, on the back of people's cars. But, like, them be the people that be driving the craziest. You know what I mean? So, I understand, the weather's starting to break. Obviously, there's going to be more motorcycles out and stuff like that. But one thing I will say about that, I'm definitely looking out for the motorcyclists. But at the same time, y'all motorcyclists got to be out there, stop driving so crazy. Literally, I will stop that at a light. I was probably like 12 cars behind, and the motorcycle just come and just slide right through. You feel me? So it's like, I don't know. I get we got to watch out for the motorcyclists, but at the same time, they kind of be cautious as well. Like, if we looking out for you, you need to look out for yourself as well as looking out for us. You see what I'm saying? But I'm on the road on a lot, so I always see like the little motorcyclist signs with the weather starting to break. This is a message to you guys as well. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I know some people are a really big advocate of motorcycle protectists or whatever you want to call it. Like, I get it. They're fun, exciting, fast, wind blowing on your face. If you got hairs blowing your hair all around, it's cool. But at the same time, got to realize you're kind of playing with different rules because you don't have as much protection. If I cut somebody in the car, okay, I might get into a car accident, but like, it's not going to be as bad. You see what I'm saying? But even if you just get tapped a little bit on your bike and you're going to fall, the bike fall on you and crush you, it can be fatal. You can suffocate, you can break something in your neck, you can break, it's all types of stuff that can happen. So, with the weather being nice now, y'all look out for motorcyclists. If that's something that you're into, I'm doing my best, but, I need the same respect too. Look out for me as well. But, moving on. So, it's having a pretty normal week until last night. We've been having a skunk problem for pretty much since I came back to Cleveland back in May. It's been a real bad skunk problem. Now, we was here, even before I moved to Florida, the house I'm at now, we've been here for years. Like, since we moved out here, this is where we've been at. You see me? But we never had any problems with the skunk, and the skunks have been really bad. Now, Camilla got sprayed last night, but keep in mind, she got sprayed 6 months ago, right? So it went from not getting sprayed. I've had her for almost 7 years now. Went to never getting sprayed, being in the house. Now, in a matter of years, she's been sprayed twice. Now, like I said, this happened last night. Going through my normal routine. I'm doing a little research for the podcast. Because I'll do it like periodically through the week when I have good topics pop up. I'm playing the game, doing my ones, twos. I'm like, cool. I finally got an early week. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, cool. My people just got home. I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna let the dogs out, and then I'm gonna call tonight. I let the dogs out. Boom, come around the corner. My mom's got like the door open, right? So I'm thinking like Camilla is running, to my mom, because anytime the dogs see the door open, they think they go for rides. They love rides. So when they see that car door open, they own it. You feel me? So I'm thinking she's running to the car door, right? She runs right past the door. Now, she's not barking or anything like that, so I'm not necessarily knowing exactly what's going on. And then I just see her. She's just shaking. And I just happen to see, like, a slither of white and black. So I'm thinking, we got wildcats around here. It's going to be wild everything, So I'm thinking it's a cat, right? Shaking. Boom. Puts it down. It starts to walk away, like, a little bit. And then Camilla's like, like, she's not running. She's just walking towards me. And I'm trying to figure out, like what's going on. Because, like, when I was down in Florida, she caught a cat. And I literally had to pry the cat out of her mouth. Like, nothing was stopping her. Like, she wasn't going to be satisfied until she killed this cat, right? So when she dropped it, I was, like, a little worried. So I get a little closer, and I see it's a skunk. Camilla's is, like, all sprayed in her face. Like, she instantly just, like, started throwing up. I'm smelling it, and, like, I'm not worried at this point, right? She got sprayed. Not ideal at all, but it is what it is. She got sprayed. So at this point, I'm also like a little flustered now, because now she comes up to me and like I'm looking at her and like her eyes are like naughty in the back of her head. Bro, I kid you not. I'm trying my best to like keep this in, but like, dog, I'm like damn near crying. You feel me? Because I've never seen her look like that. So like when I saw it, like it really like, bro, I just got the chills. Like I literally can feel like my heartbeat just drop. You feel me? It's like I damn near didn't have a pulse in her. Like I didn't know what to do. And like she's really not reacting. And like even then like eyes rolling back and like now like her eyes, after she rolled her eyes back, like now her eyes are like starting to close. So now I'm like I'm sweating at this point. You know what I mean? Because like I said, like she got sprayed before, but like I never seen her act like that. So when I seen her eyes like that, like rolling in the back of her head, like I'm like, oh, like it's bad. You know what I mean? But and shout out to my mom too, cause her and my Seppi, that like I said, that just got home, and now I'm like holding Camilla, cause like now I'm literally thinking like she's dying. You feel me? It's like I'm trying to comprehend all this. Like man, everything was just so smooth, and then this, you feel me? So I'm trying to keep it together emotionally, you know what I mean? But obviously not working the best because obviously this is my baby, you feel me? It's like y'all out there that got kids and stuff like that, it's like they scrape their knee or they're sick, stuff like that, like you gonna feel that as a parent. And it's no different, you know, for anybody who has, you know, dogs or any type of pets, you know. I've had her for almost 7 years. I've spent every single day with her, sleep with her, all that, you know what I mean? So like it's really like touching me in my feels, you feel me? But so my mom is helping me out. We're calling the vet, yada yada yada, giving us all the information. Like she's still like at this point, like she's still, you know, throwing up, throwing up. So like, I'm really like sweating, bro. Like I don't know what the hell to do. So thankful like my mom and my sister were there because like I didn't even know, like I had no clue what to do. Like I was kind of like frozen in time. You feel me? But so we're going through the process. You know, like I said, she just got sprayed. Both of them got sprayed 6 months ago, but only Camilla got sprayed this time. So now we're going through all the process. You know, we're wiping her down and stuff like that. And keep in mind, like now at this point, like I'm still emotional. Like I feel better. You know, now that she's like kind of normal, but like, I still don't really know. But like I'm still like I'm the type of person like, bro. When I get like if I'm mad and I get to crying, bro, I just see black. So you know, I'm watching her. It just clicked in my head. I'm like, man, fuck no. Like this is the second time. Like we 0-2 against the skunk. We going to offense. Went upstairs. I got the bat. I go in the yard. I'm like, man, if I see, I'm going crazy. You feel me? But sure enough, I didn't see the skunk. Uh, Probably crawled away or whatever. So I'm gonna settle that score another day. Yeah, in the moment I was like blacking out and you know probably should have been caring for my dog instead of dealing with the skunk. So obviously, you know, kind of realized I need to go back and you know help Camille out. But and y'all got any skunks as pets, or if you a skunk and you listen to this podcast, I'm on your ass. Okay, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, it's skunk killer from now on. I'm gonna get that, and it might not even be the same skunk that she got, and that's okay with me. I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna get my get back though. I don't care if it's a Zach skunk, it's a different skunk, it's a baby skunk. Like I'm gonna get my get back for sure because Camilla didn't finish the job. And that was the worst part about it as well. It's like she got sprayed, you know, for nothing. She didn't get sprayed as bad as she did last time because she had it in her mouth. I'm thinking the skunk like sprayed her. That's why she ended up letting the skunk out of her mouth. But at the end of the day, she still got sprayed and she didn't even finish the job. So, like I said, we own skunks. It's up. You know, tell a friend, tell a friend. You know, it's beef with skunks, and that's what it is. Hold on, before I continue, you know, I gotta check and do my little thing. I don't want it to cut off on y'all while I'm recording. All right, no, no, we good. No, I'm gonna hit this next little topic. Before we go on, um, I lied. We're gonna end with that skunk story. We're gonna go to a commercial break, and then on the other side, we're gonna talk about some more stuff. Oh, I was lying. I told you. We come back on the other side. We'll talk about some other stuff, and we back now. Enough of all that skunk talk. Gonna get me hot again. No, because something else I want to talk about. I think the part about her getting sprayed by the skunk for me also why I was emotional. One at first because I literally thought like the skunk had just killed my dog. You know, her eyes were on in the back of the head. She kind of nodded a little bit. It's like she not acting like herself. Like I almost had her for 7 years. Like I know my dog not acting right. I can walk in the house. I can tell my dog what type of mood my dog is in. I can tell she's been being bad. I can tell she's being good. Like just like if you got kids out there, you know your kids. They don't even have to say anything. Just by their body language, you can tell what's going on. And that's part of the reason that kind of messed me up the most. Because I am, you know, her dad. You know what I mean? I'm the owner of the garden, whatever you want to call it. I'm dog dad, daddy dog, whatever you want to call it. But I think that was the hardest part for me because like I'm supposed to be protecting her. You know, I'm supposed to keep out of situations that so things like this don't happen. So I think that was the hardest part for me to actually sit with and actually not be upset about because I mean, obviously she made her own decision to charge skunk, but like she's a dog. She has like those dog instincts. But I think that's why I was so emotional, why I was so hard on myself, because I feel like I didn't protect my dog. And definitely not a good feeling. Like I said, if you're a parent out there, you got kids or any type of pets, you definitely know what I'm talking about. They put a lot of trust in us. You know, they trust us. That's why, you know, abandoning your dogs, like abandoning your kids, is so messed up, because they put a lot of trust in you and you just are not there. So that's kind of how I was feeling. I was feeling like a bad dad. But even today, I'm feeling a little better today, knowing that she's better. She's definitely more energetic. Like even last night, she was still kind of skittish, and then when I took her out this morning, she was still kind of like a little skittish. So I'm feeling like a horrible dad at this point. You know what I mean? But she's good though. Got her energy back. You know, she over there. Y'all can't see her, but she over there, you know, knocked out. But I just wanted to touch on that before, because I don't think I really explained like exactly why I was emotional. Like besides her, me thinking that she was dying, but like me feeling like I didn't do my job. Like when I got her from the kennel, I told her, yo, it's gonna be my job, my duty. If it's the last thing I do on this earth, is that, you know, you live a good life for the short period of time that you're here, and I do everything in my power to always protect you. So I felt like I kind of dropped the ball on that. You feel me? But it is what it is. She's good. Not nearly as hard on myself about the situation. Just realizing, you know, stuff like that happens. You know, shout out to my mom and, like I said, Steffi again, because they definitely, you know, was there for me and helped me out. And without them throughout that situation, I don't know what I would have done. You know what I mean? So shout out to them. And especially shout out to my mama, because shout out to my mama and y'all mamas. Not like that, like when I'm talking about like y'all mamas like that, but like if your mama cute, no, I'm just playing. But Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday. Now, I'm not gonna hate, because I'm not gonna whatever. Over the simple fact that Mother's Day obviously gets more attention than Father's Day, but we aren't here to discuss about the little nuances about the holiday. What we will talk about is how important it is to celebrate for Mother's Day. Do something to show that your mom that you're appreciative of her, because without her, you wouldn't be here. And well, yeah, I'm probably like in 2040, they're gonna be like doing like little incubated babies, and you won't even like need like a mom or nobody. They can just create a baby out of thin air. But until we get to that point, you know, shout out to the moms all around the world. Y'all doing your thing. Even if your kids are in a situation that you can protect them from, you are still a good mother. Just always be loving and be there for your kids, because um, uh, uh, I speak specifically on the mothering. The mothering, that never ends, right? Like your mom is always gonna be your mom. It's not like, oh, when you're 18, you get out the house, you're out here, your mama gonna always be there for you. You know, I mean, everybody's situation is different. I'm speaking in general. So if you do have like a estranged relationship with your mom, I'm not trying to trigger you. I'm just talking to the masses right now. You feel me? But uh, actually, for Mother's Day this year, usually we go to like hibachi, like a little. I don't know when it started being a tradition, but like it's been like for the past couple of years. But we've been going to hibachi. You know, we'll get like Benihana's or something like that for my mom, which is actually crazy, because we always go to we'll go like hibachi style for Mother's Day for my mom, and my mom's allergic to, you know, pretty much everything but water. You know, like onion, like a lot of stuff like my mom can't eat. So like when you go to hibachi, you know, they do the little volcano oven trick where they supposed to do it. I saw it by the time for my mom's birthday. We went to hibachi. Man, this was like the most ghetto is. Dude wasn't even of Oriental ethnicity. You feel me? So it's like, I'm not gonna hate on my people, but it was a black guy, right? Man, he ain't do no tricks. He Man, I'm not even gonna get into that. The point of the story was they do a little volcano with the onions. So obviously it's cooked on the grill with all the onions, which she's allergic to. So usually they gotta cook it in the back, cook it to the side, cook first, cook last, whatever. They make the accommodations. But her stuff is always the one that's wrong. We go out for Mother's Day and like somehow put the onions on, or they just completely mess with the order and get something strictly plain what she didn't ask for, which is asked for like a couple things not to be in there. So it's usually a mess when we go to a botch for Mother's Day. But the most important part is that we're spending time with our mom on Mother's Day. Um, yeah, no, shout out to mom though, because I was just talking to I was talking to my neighbor yesterday, and he told me a situation about, like with his kids, and like a situation like the relationship that he has, with their mother, and how he is choosing to raise the kids and how she's choosing to raise the kids, right? Now, these are good kids. Like, they're respectful. I want to say, like, between like the seven and nine range, like, they're pretty young, but like they're super respectful. It's like when I get home from work, they're like, "Hey, Mario," I'm like, "Hey, how was work?" And like, y'all some respectful kids, and you asking a grown man about work, But it's like, that's how he's raised them. That's why they're like that. You know what I mean? Like, he's a man's kind of man. You know what I mean? Whatever, you take that as. But it's like, meaning your word, meaning everything that you say, and doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. So he's real good at that. But with the mother, she has kind of like a different way of parenting, right? Do stuff maybe in spite of him, when really it just affects the kid. So we were just having that conversation with him was kind of perfect for like this Mother's Day coming up, because even him telling me like what's been going on and stuff like that has made me even more thankful for how my mom raised me. You know what I mean? Because like even growing up, it's like I feel like my mom was like, I won't say she was super strict, but like my mom was pretty strict. You know what I mean? Like as far as like having chores, like my friends could do certain stuff that I couldn't do. Like as far as staying out late or just hanging out all the time, it was a bunch of things. And when I was young, I did not like that shit at all, and like I just couldn't understand it. You know what I mean? It's like you get caught in that mentality. It's like, oh, well, your friends jump off the cliff, you gonna jump off the cliff too? It's like, man, they look like they was having fun. I ain't gonna lie, I might just jump off that cliff with them. But it's only when I got older and seeing how other kids my age act, which made me realize like my mom really was. She Okay, I'll put it like this: my mom was prepping me for the future when I didn't even know what my future would look like. You understand? So it's like I appreciate my mom for even doing that, because like it takes a strong parent to seemingly disappoint your child in the moment so they can be successful in the future. And I always appreciate my mom just for doing that, because even with me, like I'm punctual, I'm not a lazy worker. I got all that from her. And even like the podcast stuff, like my mom used to always listen to books on tape. Now, I wasn't always a fan of the books on tape, because like even when I have like, we take one of my friends home from basketball or football practice or baseball practice or whatever practice it was, and they in the car, my mom's still playing the books on tape. Like I said, she listens to like adult contemporary things. You know what I mean? So it's like very descriptive, as well as like, and then he put his mouth around the breast of her navel. It's like, I got my friends in the car. They're like, man, what? And I'm like, man, whatever. But I really think that will let me to even doing podcasts now, like enjoying like the long form content, because of my mom, right? So it's a lot of things I can chalk up to why I am how I am, and I got to give all the credit to my mom, because you did an amazing job. I know uh, I'm not the perfect, son by any stretch of the imagination, but um, I'm your favorite child. So I mean, Brian, Bianca, y'all both gonna see this. Hater you want, we'll talk about it in the group chat. Don't even worry about it. But no, for real, shout out to my mom. If I could be half the parent that she was when I have kids, my kids gonna be straight. You feel me? And like I said, my obviously y'all know when y'all have kids, they somewhat a representation of yourself. So if I get a son, I really need to be half of what my mom was, to be able to kind of mold all that energy. Kind of like the flip of switch, kind of being standoffish and kind of being aggressive too and energetic. So my mom really did her thing with me, for sure. And I give I mean, a lot of that credit to my mom, for sure, because all that stuff starts at an early age, and I was thankful that my mom instilled that in me at a young age. Even if I didn't understand it, I appreciate it now. So shout out to you, mom. Mother's Day coming up. It's gonna be a great one, like always. Um, Other than that, actually, no, actually, I still will be with my mom on Mother's Day, because her and my steppy are going out of town. His birthday was actually yesterday, which actually crazy that once they came home, then his birthday, he helping me clean off my dog with skunk. He went to breakfast this morning. He still smelled like skunk. Like it was all bad. But shout out to him. They're gonna do it up for his birthday, and yeah, I love those two together for sure. They're definitely a good mix for sure. But like I was about to say, I'll be going to my niece's for a barbecue on Sunday. So that is Mother's Day. My niece Izzy is having a little barbecue and throwing it for her other sister, which is my niece, obviously, Bree Bree. Shout out to you, Izzy, because I know y'all be watching the podcast. Shout out to you and shout out to Ben. Definitely proud. She's at the point now. She's older now. She got her own place. She's working, and now she's inviting people over for a barbecue. So, yeah, just very, very proud of my niece and nephew. They got none of these shits had a baby and stuff like that. So like they're all growing up, and they're all growing up to be very mature and very very about their business. You know what I mean? Which is actually funny because even with me and all my nieces, you know what I mean, we're all very similar in a lot of ways. Kind of got the same interests and a lot of things. So it's definitely dope to see her, doing her thing, and she got her own place now. She's hosting to have people come. And my thing is, it's like that's family. So like I'm always gonna pull it for family. You feel me? But not only that, but just the fact that she's saying headstrong. She's handling her business. But yeah, I really didn't have too much to really go off that. But just the fact that I think it's definitely important. Like when my niece and stuff have, get-togethers and stuff like that, I always make it a point to, try to be there. You know what I mean? I don't think it's too much I've missed that I've been actually invited to. I missed the baby shower. Sorry, Brittany. I was working. I saw your situation. I called her for another company. I got a new company, started working another job, and I didn't request off, and it was too late. But it was a good time. I heard. Shout out to you. Izzy, take it easy on Ben. You're a sweet girl. Very kind-hearted. But give Ben some slack. My boy be trying. You just be grilling him and grilling him. Let my man beat him. But I ain't gonna lie. Ben kind of got it in them too, so it's like they kind of like a good match because like she got a little bit of two, and then Ben kind of like a sarcastic asshole. So like they definitely a good mix. Like I said, just family importance, just being there for each other. I like to stand on my words. Whatever I say I'm gonna do, I always make it a point to actually make sure it happens. Because first they were gonna have it on Saturday. I was telling them my work, so make a couple calls, phone calls here. Boom, do it Sunday. What I said, if you can do it Sunday, be better for me. I'm there. So this Sunday would definitely be fun. I'll probably take my camera. I may or may not take my camera, but yeah, not the typical Mother's Day I'm gonna have, but in general, it'll still be a good Mother's Day. And that's actually another question I got for y'all because a lot of my nieces and even like my nephews, but I guess it doesn't pertain to them. But a lot of my nieces now they having babies, right? My niece Brittany, she just had a baby like 2-3 months ago. Not even. You feel me? Do you still say Happy Mother's Day to somebody that's like a fairly newborn? They have a fairly newborn, or do you just? Oh, now before y'all start looking at me like that, hold on. Let me finish. Because somebody's pregnant. Because I got another niece. She's pregnant. Her baby shower is on May 19th. Obviously, Mother's Day is about a week away. Do you wish her a happy Mother's Day, even though she hasn't had the baby? But technically, you would have wished her a happy Mother's Day because she will be a mother, God present, that everything goes smooth. So when is the appropriate time to wish somebody a happy Mother's Day? Because now I got a lot of people I got to wish a happy Mother's Day to. I'll be honest with you. And like, I'm trying to maybe find like a little scapegoat. It's like, well, technically you didn't have a baby yet. But I'm just talking shit. But yeah, if y'all can get back to me on that, leave it in the comments. Y'all don't never leave it in the comments, but I'm gonna say y'all again. Leave it in the comments and we'll discuss it. Now, this is probably how we gonna finish it off. The Drake and Kendrick beef is in full effect. Now, last time I recorded this podcast, we didn't hear from Kendrick. We know what Kendrick was doing. We know if he was in album mode. They call him Kung Fu Kenny. So he might have been doing some karate class, some taekwondo, some martial arts, some BBGs. He might have been doing anything. He didn't respond. But he finally responded. And which is so crazy about him actually responding is how he chose to respond, right? So Drake ended up dropping, I think it was Friday night. Kendrick literally dropped like right after Drake had dropped. So really kind of stepped on, Drake's diss track. I mean, Drake's diss track was still fire, but I mean, he played it very strategic, and I'm just actually surprised that he actually responded. So within the last time I recorded this podcast, it's been, I think it's been four diss songs since then, 4 or 5 diss songs since then, which is impressive because I didn't think that was gonna happen. I was still trying to see if Kendrick was gonna even respond because it had been 2 weeks since he responded to the original diss, right? So he finally responded. It was cool. We're gonna talk about the score, later on, but like the response, it was cool. I'm not gonna hate because a lot of people been hating, so I'm gonna give him a pride. It was cool, but like if we ranking them, all right, it's just the fact that he even responded, right? Now that he responded, it's in full effect, right? Now we'll talk about the strategic tactics that's been happening. That's another strategic tactic. Not thinking somebody's going to respond, and then you drop a diss track, and then that person drops right after you drop. I'm not talking about an hour later, 2 hours later. I'm talking about it was like 15 minutes later. So it's like he was almost waiting for that. You know what I mean? He had it on tuck. He's like, okay, Drake, hop out the window again. I'm responding. And that's exactly what he did, which revoked another response from Drake about a day later. So a lot of strategic tactics have been going on as far as all the information that's been going on throughout the camp. Stuff about moles in the camp. Some type of DVs going on with a man and his wife. There's been a lot of stuff going on. So it's real warfare, really strategically going about the situation. Both of them are definitely playing their cards. Like I said, just strategic. Nobody's trying to give up too much, and they're both like kind of on that like Kendrick said, like, don't tell no lies about me, and I won't tell no truth about you. And Drake pretty much responded with just like, man, if you just gonna keep talking about the cap, like it ain't really nothing to talk about. Let me know when you actually want to get to the truth. You know what I mean? Now, what he's talking about, you guys been paying attention. Been a lot of allegations been thrown out, and usually that's gonna happen in a diss. Like a diss, even if it's like friendly sparring, it's not gonna be necessarily the friendliest, And all it takes is one person to cross that line, and it's gonna take it to a whole nother level. Now, Kendrick claims that Drake separated the line by talking about his girl, somebody in his family, yada yada yada. Now, it's kind of ironic to hear that because just for the simple fact, it's like it's a beef, right? It's still early, so to be so sensitive about certain stuff early is interesting. But the fact that you use that to kind of come back and, I mean, you made a whole song, literally talking to Drake's son, talking about a fake daughter that he didn't have. But like I said, strategic tactic, how Drake fed the information and Kendrick jumped right on it. But Kendrick said in the diss track that he's not going to people and searching for information and all this other stuff. But you thought you got some scathing information. How? Because of information that you were fed that was left by Drake to do. Like I said, it's crazy. Like it's talking about one of the people always throw Kendrick in like the greatest, like the best rapper. When you have two top tier, top dog rappers going at it, this is what you're gonna get, right? Now, all in all, okay. Do you guys think it's gotten too personal? Now, obviously, I won't be able to hear you respond, but you can hear me respond. I don't think it's got too personal. Like I was saying before, it's a diss. Friendly sparring to an extent, but at the end of the day, it's like clearly you guys don't like each other. Drake has kind of made it clear about him not liking Kendrick for a while. Even when, like in 2013, when Kendrick had dropped Control and he went out a bunch of people, when Drake saw him like shortly after that, Kendrick's like, oh no, like it's just rap. It's just rap, But Drake didn't even, you made a whole song going to all these people, so like, okay, boom, it's just rap, right? Drake said, come bars here, kind of get on the debate, and this is a while ago. So like since then, it's kind of been like that little fake tension, So the issue that I have, I don't want to say I have, but don't try to make it seem like it's too personal if you gonna call somebody who wasn't even a originally dissing you, you know? So a lot of this stuff is built up over the years, and that's just is what it is. Like, you can do whatever you want with that information. You can lean one way, you can lean the other way, but when you have something built up, if you don't feel positive about it and you have something built up, it's obviously not going to end well. It's not going to come out in a flattering manner. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a rap beef, you know? So like, don't try to use it as like a scapegoat, because at the end of the day, when Drake and Pusha T was going back and forth at it, Drake stopped responding when he felt like Pusha T crossed the line, and he said something about 40 being sick and illness and asking how much time he got left. So Drake decided to pull out from that, right? People gave him flack for that, right? For not responding. So, oh, it's rap beef, yada yada yada. But like, now Kendrick is saying he said things too personal, but y'all not giving him the same energy, right? We gotta keep that. We gotta keep that same energy. And how we gonna keep that same energy? Say we're gonna talk about it on the side. Now how? From the side, right? We're on the other side now. Just finished talking about this. Like I said, I'm gonna spend a good amount of time on this. I know last week I talked about it was gonna be a long podcast, and it was about the same time like I normally drop. This one would definitely be longer. We're definitely gonna hit over an hour. So just say one because I really want to break this down. I don't want to break it down too much because this is not really what I do on my podcast. I don't really get too deep into the music stuff, but we got two top tier, top dog, no pun intended, if y'all see top dog, going at it, right? So I want to talk about it, break it down, because it's strategic, it's war, it's really, really smart tactics on both sides. They're trying to get a reaction to kind of convince the people, right? Now, there's a lot of things talked about in a lot of these diss songs. I'm not going to break down each diss song and what was said, but I pretty much put it like this. Drake talked about, okay, I'll put it like this. Kendrick's whole angle with his beef is that Drake is a pedo. He could be on an episode of Chris Hansen, right? Now, okay, say what you want about that. I don't necessarily know exactly, but what I will say is, when people are in certain like money brackets, it's some conversations that I can't understand to have because I'm not in a situation like that. You know what I mean? Because to us, normal people who aren't attracted to kids or we're not in a situation to even flirt with that line when it comes to children, right? Now it's Drake, it's a pop star. You got other celebrities that are, celebrities, but they're not all of age, not above 18, right? They're of age of the industry of the work that they do. But I mean, you're talking about like actors and stuff like that. You don't need to be 18 to be actors and stuff like that. So him trying to take the little angle with the Millie Brown thing. I mean, I don't know. I get it. I mean, if I was beefing with somebody, I'd probably use that as a tactic as well. But y'all loving it, the fact that Kendrick is calling Drake a pedo, right? Now, in the diss track, it's been honestly all Kendrick diss tracks. He mentioned Drake being a pedo, mentioned like some snitching allegation. He's pretty much keeping like the same point, right? But what I'm going to say is the problem that I have is y'all like when Kendrick is calling Drake a pedo, but the fact that Drake mentioned that Kendrick had an experience when he was younger and he was on the other side and he was actually the victim of that, y'all didn't like that. Y'all got to keep the same energy, because if there's no proof that Drake is actual pedo, he hasn't been charged for any of that, y'all can't run with that narrative. But y'all don't like when Drake is saying it about Kendrick, even though Kendrick is doing the exact same thing. We got to keep the same energy. We got to play it fair down the line. Now, I get it. Some of y'all are biased, and that's been the hardest part about me, about this whole beef that's been going on. I'm definitely more of a Drake fan than I am a Kendrick fan. I now have 2 songs of Kendrick downloaded on my phone, but this whole beef has turned me into a Drake sexual. And what I mean by that is I find myself defending Drake so hard against you Kendrick fans because y'all Kendrick fans are so biased. Every Kendrick fan I'm talking to, oh, it's 4-0. It's 4-0 Kendrick. Huh? How? If you're watching the beef, I don't watch the beef. There's no way that you're saying it's 4-0. And they're talking about the songs that Drake is putting out is trash. But that's what I'm saying. Biased Kendrick fans. Y'all just saying anything. The fact that you're saying that Drake is just putting out trash. Now, Pete, has Drake put out trash objectively? You know, because I'm not even the biggest Drake fan. There's plenty of albums by Drake that I haven't heard. The last album I heard by Drake was Her Loss. That came out in 2022, I believe. And there's a lot of albums before that that I missed. I'm not on every Drake album when it drops. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's for me, it's T Grizzy, Dope Boy, and Young Boy. When they drop, I'm definitely tapping. Other than that, like I don't really care. Like I named the title of the podcast list. Drake is like pizza. Everybody likes pizza. Even even if he's not your favorite, to say that Drake is trash is it's just delusional. I just put it like that. It's truly delusional. And that is set in stone because y'all Kendrick fans are so biased. Like I said, I've been arguing with y'all Kendrick fans, and y'all all swear y'all got PhDs in spoken word. Stop it. Just stop it. Y'all won't even acknowledge, let the thought go through your head that Drake made a good song. And what's your argument? Oh man, Drake got ghostwriter. Drake got ghostwriter. Bro, we've been knowing this already. Like, some of y'all might need some ghostwriters to make some hits. Cause there's a lot of y'all out there, like, I'm convinced y'all ain't got no ghostwriter. Cause that shit is trash. It's getting no play. It's going triple wood. It ain't doing nothing but collecting dust. It's buried in the Apple Spotify playlist, all that stuff. So my thing is, if you can actually get writers, that was another thing to talk about. If you can actually get writers to have you produce a dope song, so be it. Why does it matter? Like that's something like I'm still like struggling to get because like it's not like in basketball or like football or something like that. It's like, oh well, he has a bunch, he has all these trainers. That's why he's so good. It's like yeah, but you got to still go out and play. Drake still got to go out and perform and all that. So like I don't know how you can even use that against him. You know, that's just me personally, and something I've been seeing a lot that I just don't get with y'all Kendrick fans. Like I said, I've been arguing with y'all all week since his drop. A lot of it on Twitter and a little bit in person as well. And like I said, it's just crazy to me because I'm not even like the biggest Drake fan, but I find myself defending Drake because y'all Kendrick fans are so biased. Like you guys are refusing to give Drake any prop. Like me personally, look, as far as all the beats goes, I got it. I got a 3-1 Drake. Now y'all gonna say that's not biased. Break it down song for song. Break it down song for song. So we got Push Ups versus Euphoria. Push Ups. Duh. Taylor Made Freestyle for 616 in LA. Come on now. Taylor Made Freestyle for sure. And we got Family Matters versus Meet the Grams. Family Matters. So we got 3-0, right? 3-0. The Hard Part 6 versus Not Like Us. Now me, I'm giving this to Not Like Us. That's a bad. They not like us. They not. Yo, it's fire. Like I said, I'll pull for Drake, but me, I can say that that is a fire song. And if we gonna go round for round, bar for bar, song for song, and compare, I'm giving them that one, right? So I just read you the list. And that's my personal opinion. I don't have it 4-0 Drake. I got the 3-1. I got Kendrick on there for one. And you're probably thinking still like, oh well, it's still 3-1. I gave him one. Y'all not giving Drake none. You see what I'm saying? Like y'all just refuse to have this conversation. Like I say, all y'all Kendrick fans think y'all graduated from Harvard or Princeton with a master's and a bachelor's and PhD and all this extra stuff. Like that's cool, I get it. But like my thing with Kendrick is, bro, you own this, black supremacy, this Hotep, Dr. Umar Johnson stuff. But like at the end of the day, it's like that's probably when you commit so much to one thing, it makes you look like a hypocrite. Because on your album, Mr. Morale, you talk about having an affair with white women. That's not very black power of you, Kendrick, is it? So that's the problem I have. It's like, come on, man, if we're gonna keep it fair, we're gonna keep it all the way fair and nothing but fair, right? Because Kendrick's been calling out a Drake about, not saying nigga and all this other stuff. You feel me? Which I don't think is fair at all. Because I mean, we see Drake out more interacting with people than we see Kendrick. That's just me personally. Like the Sexy Reds, like all the new upcoming black artists, you see Drake rocking with them. But Kendrick is so, for black empowerment and stuff like that. Why don't you see Kendrick doing the same thing? drop album, go with for you. Drop album, go with for you. He doesn't even do features like that anymore. You feel me? So it's like we got to keep it fair. We got to keep it fair all the way around. So that's a lot of stuff that's been going on as far as the rap beef. I mean, we got pedo allegation. We got DV violation with Kendrick and his wife. What else we got? Ghost Rider speculations. Pedo's on Drake's team. What else we got? Hmm, yeah, Drake going at Kendrick having that little experience when he was younger. Like, it's a bunch of angles that's been going at, and honestly, what I can say, both sides, I don't think either of them are completely 100% telling the truth. I think that's just part of the game. You got to sell some stuff to make people more intrigued. Like sometimes the lie is more entertaining than the truth, and they're entertaining us, right? So what does that probably mean? Probably some lies in there, right? But I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, this beef is definitely good because again, people to actually tune in. Because like I said, I got two Kendrick songs on my phone now. I got not like they don't like us or whatever it's called, don't like us, and then I got humble. I got two songs by Kendrick. So for y'all Kendrick fans, there y'all go. Got it. I got a song on there, but we just gonna say completely fair with the beef. Call it down the middle, even. I mean, whatever. Y'all can do what y'all want with that information or play it how y'all want to play it. But I just like to be truthful when it comes to things like that. Like I get some of y'all are diehard Kendrick fans. Some of y'all just don't like Drake, and that's what it's exposing. A lot of y'all just don't like Drake, and I get it. He light skinned, like he can sing, he do all that. Like really it. Y'all need to be hating Chris Brown more than y'all hate Drake because Chris Brown can do everything that Drake can do, except for Chris Brown can dance too. Now, Chris does seem to be off his rocker more some days, a little bit of. But for the most part, it's just what it is. But as far as that go, it was bars. They were keeping it, but things have started to escalate. When I'm recording this is on a Tuesday, but turns out that Drake's home and Toronto was subject of a drive-by shooting. Um, his security guard ended up getting hit like in the chest, something like that, and was ended up rushed to the hospital. Now, do I think this comes directly from Kendrick? No, I don't think it's coming directly from Kendrick. I don't think anybody goes from the west side, the west coast, to come all the way out to Toronto to pop somebody, right? I just think it's like a diehard Kendrick fan that maybe just so happens to live in Toronto or not too far away from Toronto because the suspect has not been apprehended yet, so we have no idea, But the thing it came from Kendrick's team, I don't think so. Just the way that the beef has been going, I feel like it would be too obvious, right? But as far as right now is strictly just bars and music besides that part. So hopefully it doesn't escalate from there. Because you want to talk about beefs escalating, you got with top dogs, Tupac and Biggie. Even if you didn't see how it happened, we all know what happened with that situation, and that came, from the beef. Now another one I will throw in there as well. The young boy and the little Dirk beef. That was there's body dropping on both sides from that. So I mean, I don't know. I just hopefully it saves music, but if it does go to the streets, I mean, I don't care either way because it ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm gonna be safe regardless. But I don't know. It just wouldn't be a good look and way too obvious for authorities to find out what's going on. You know what I mean? Because they be more tapped in than people think. Like I said, I'm not even nobody. It's a bunch of police and stuff, that are on my posts and stuff like that. Not because I'm doing anything wrong, it's because I went to school with some of these people. I through the flag community, flag. Come on, don't do me like that. The flag football community, some officers that work in there as well. So it's like, they're never far around and like they be on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter just like we do. You know what I mean? So it'd be too easy to put those pieces together. And I will say honorable mention the Ti, not the Ti, but the Gucci and Jeezy beef. When we talk about legendary beefs, so if Drake's security guard does ended up passing away from this, it's gonna turn this beef up to a whole nother level. And you see fans, starting to take sides as well. The OVO store was vandalized overseas in London, which I would think that Drake will have more fans in London than Kendrick, Kung Fu Kenny. But I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, that stuff is cool. Which I mean, at the end of the day, like, why would Drake care that you guys vandalized the store? You like you think that's like hurting his pockets at all? But I get it. You're trying to send a message. Drake probably received the message loud and clear, and they probably won't put no raggedy store in your country again. So y'all can do it. Y'all it's cool though, because even if Drake don't want to put no more, OVO stores in your country, Kendrick can just put a store in your country, right? He ain't got no store. So yeah, y'all be safe out there in London. Like I get y'all trying to pick sides, but you know, don't lose the store because of emotional decision with the rap beat. At the end of the day, none of us are gonna be affected by this, like physically. Maybe mentally you might, but at the end of the day, like even then that'd be a stretch because none of this should be affecting your personal life because we really don't know these people other than the music. You might have met them before or gone to a concert, but we don't know these people. Now let the beat be what it is. Don't get into an altercation with people over two other grown men, and that's something that I'm not going to participate. We can have a good banter, verbal banter back and forth about it, but I'm not about to. I'm not fighting nobody over, Drake and Kendrick Lamar because if Drake and Kendrick Lamar are gonna fight over me. When I had issues in the past, did Drake or Kendrick come help me? That same sentiment I kept with the Lil Durk and YoungBoy beat. YoungBoy is my favorite artist for sure. He's in the top three. Dirk not in my top three, but I'll rock with Dirk as well. I'll play YoungBoy song, then I'll play a Dirk song. I don't care. Like I have no. I mean, I do have a dog in the fight, but it's like I don't care, But I don't know. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Before we get out of here, segment things I care briefly about. It's strictly just basketball news. I mean, I took up a lot of your time talking about the Drake and Kendrick beef, and there's still stuff I wanted to talk about as well. But like I said, I'm not trying to give y'all a freaking 2 hour podcast, an hour just talking about Drake and stuff like that. You feel me? But we got the Knicks up 1-0 on the Pacers. Timberwolves up 2 on Denver. And then we have the Cavs and Celtics facing off tonight, as well as the Maverick and Thunder. Like I said, I'm recording this on a Tuesday. But yeah, the way it's looking, Timberwolves beating up on Denver, and you got the Knicks in the pace. So we got some teams that have won the championship in a while that could potentially win the championship again. I mean, considering if Denver loses to Timberwolves, but like I said, Anthony Edwards is nice, and he's been doing this thing and all. But I appreciate you guys' time. I appreciate y'all for sticking with me. If you haven't done it already, let me get a like, a comment, subscribe. I greatly appreciate. If you guys got any suggestions for what you might want to see on the show, I'll definitely take suggestions, but don't take that because you give me a suggestion. I'm gonna do it. But I will give you, my full undivided attention, whatever you got going on, and then we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, this has been another episode of the We Here Now podcast. If you're a recurring viewer, family, I love you. Appreciate y'all for coming back again. Stay locked in with me. If you're a new subscriber, viewer, hopefully I give you some stuff to want to talk about. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I might got a little something going on. If you repost my podcast on your IG, on your Facebook, and you tag me in it, we might be able to do something with it. But yeah, do what y'all want. But I just throwing it out there. But yeah, I really don't got anything else to really talk about. I'm not gonna hold you. Yeah, this has been another episode of. Ooh, before I do that, make sure I get a like, comment, and subscribe, bro. It's easy. Like it should already be ingrained in your head. Like when you hear that dun dun dun, in a minute, it's go like fire. You should tell by the theme song is about to be a fire podcast. Y'all know I'm gonna give y'all to y'all straight. I'm not gonna give it to you any other way. And I will lie for you before I lie to you. This has been another episode of We Are Now Podcast. We out of here. Yes, sure.